This week on Berkshire News Now, we check out the beautiful views of the Wigwam. Then, BNN's May Craig stops by at the second Heyday Fair in Williamstown. And we celebrate the city of North Adams at the 23rd Annual Downtown Celebration. That's coming up next on Berkshire News Now. Hello and welcome to the August 20th episode of Berkshire News Now. I'm Julia Texera. The North Adams Police Department is investigating a possibly racially motivated act of vandalism that took place earlier this month in North Adams, as a single black mother woke up to find feces smeared on the door and air conditioner outside of her apartment. The woman had told friends and police that there had been a loud party in the apartment next door during the night of the incident, and a racial slur could be heard repeatedly throughout the night. The North Adams Police Department is working with District Attorney Andrea Harrington's office to investigate. On August 7th, Williamstown celebrated the opening of its new police station with an official ribbon cutting. Williamstown Police Chief Kyle Johnson was joined by Town Manager Jason Hotch, members of the construction team, 2 members of the Town Select Board, and a representative from Williams College. Senator Hines and State Representative John Baird III were also there to celebrate the creation of a facility that town officials said was long needed for the town, as the old station had been built in 1966. On August 13th, Cheshire had a special election to fill 2 newly created seats on the Board of Selectmen. The board is expanding from 3 members to 5. The town elected Michelle Francisconi and Ron DeAngelis. DeAngelis won a 2-year term, beating out Mikey Biagini and Richard Schultz. Francisconi won a 3-year term, defeating Donna DeFino. Both winners will get sworn in by the town clerk and begin their duties at the next board meeting on August 20th. Williamstown celebrated its second Heyday Fair, and BNN's May Craig was there to check it out.
The Williamstown Historical Museum hosted their second year of Heyday. Filled with live music, bake sales, games, arts and crafts, raffles, and a petting zoo, the event was created by the Board of Directors to raise money for the Williamstown Historical Museum.
The museum moved down here about 2 years ago, and with all of this space, we figured we needed some type of event to celebrate our new location and also to use the space. And one of our board members suggested, why don't we have Heyday, a small country fair? And it grew from that.
Patrick Quinn talked about the work that went into the event and how the fair has started to become a yearly tradition in Williamstown.
Work went into it, a lot of the board members participating. We had something on the Historic Museum's Facebook, and some people saw that and responded. That's how we got part of the petting zoo and the pony rides. So it just kind of took on a life of its own. People who came last year really enjoyed it. Everyone left smiling and happy, and so we didn't have a hard time getting people to come back and getting new people to say, gee, we'd like to come.
People shared their favorite parts about Heyday.
Me a bullhorn and doing the children's races. I like that the best, really.
Us, the amounts of people, just seeing all ages that are happily walking around and enjoying the beautiful weather, and it's just a great feeling of country here.
Well, for me, it's the food. Everyone here knows that Val eats quite a bit.
The camaraderie of everybody down here in the community.
And if there's going to be another event for next year,
I think that since last year the inaugural went so well, this year it seems to be doing very well again. So I'm afraid that they want to do it again. So it gives a lot. It's a lot of work, but it's well worth it. It's a good community event and brings notoriety to the museum, because we're the holder of the history of Williamstown, and so it's historic.
For Berkshire News Now, I'm May Craig.
At Natural Bridge Park, the Guardian sculptures will be removed. Created in 2004, the sculptures have begun to suffer severe fractures and other damages over time, to the point where it has been deemed unsafe to keep them in the park. The sculptures will officially be removed on October 14th. On August 23rd, Movies Under the Stars at Colgrove Park is back. Head down to the park at 8 p.m. for the showing of The Goonies. The movie is about a band of kids who live in the Goondocks and attempt to save their homes from foreclosure, and in doing so, they discover an old treasure map that takes them on an adventure. This event is free to the public. In Pittsfield, the city school system will be launching an African American Studies course in the fall. The class will be taught to high school students in the district, as the class will aim to provide life lessons about Black issues students will be facing when they get older. Pittsfield Superintendent Jason McCandless has said that this is only the start, as the district is looking to bring in Black history in all subjects through grades kindergarten through the 12th grade. Speaking of entertainment, on this week's edition of Weary Entertainment News, Robert Weary gives us the rundown on a few concerts happening in Berkshire County.
Thanks, Julia. Welcome to the season finale of Weary Entertainment News. Though summer is ending, there is still plenty to do around Berkshire County for entertainment. This is especially a great time to get out for those who have children leaving for college within the next month. Let's start with the unique event happening at Mass MoCA. Every summer, the state of Massachusetts funds a cultural initiative to help encourage support of the public arts, Free Fun Friday. Each Friday throughout the summer, one public arts institution in the state is free for that day. On Friday, August 30th, Mass MoCA will have that honor. Some of the exhibits Mass MoCA will be highlighting will be making art at the Art Bar and exploring the new Kid Space exhibition, Still I Rise, which honors Maya Angelou. This is a great opportunity to support the public arts and visit the historic Mass MoCA Museum. Free Fun Friday at Mass MoCA will be taking place on August 30th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Due to the nature of this event, parking may be limited, so get there early if possible. Visit massmoca.org for information about all the events currently being held. Every summer, Tanglewood at Lenox holds their annual Popular Artist Summer Series. There is one headliner each night for 5 consecutive nights. This year's lineup is filled with some big names, some of whom have been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The series begins on Wednesday, August 28th, with a performance from R&B legend Gladys Knight and her backup band, The Spinners. The next night, August 29th, new wave band Squeeze will be performing. Then, rock legends Pat Benatar and her husband Neil Girardo, along with Melissa Etheridge, will be taking the stage on August 30th. Next, multi-genre singer-songwriter Ben Harper will be with his backup band, The Innocent Criminals, on August 31st. Finally, country music icon Reba McEntire will be closing out the Popular Artist Series on September 1st. This is a great event for music lovers everywhere. All of these performances are scheduled to begin at approximately 7:30 p.m. The exception is Reba McEntire's closing show, which should start at 2:30 p.m. Ticket prices vary and are still available for purchase on Tanglewood's website, but they are selling fast. Visit www.musiccenterlenox.org to purchase tickets. Traffic to Tanglewood is expected to be busy for all 5 performances. If you're driving in from North Adams, make sure to leave early because it can get crazy. Finally, if it's a rainy day in Berkshire County, why not go see a movie? The big movie debuting this weekend is Angel Has Fallen. This movie is the 3rd in the Has Fallen series, following Olympus Has Fallen and London Has Fallen. While those 2 movies dealt with terrorism on a wider level, this one is more small scale. The lead character, Mike Banning, has been framed for an assassination attempt on the president and must clear his name. Fans invested in the Has Fallen series won't be disappointed. Angel Has Fallen stars Gerard Butler, Morgan Freeman, Aaron Eckhart, and Jada Pinkett Smith, and is directed by Rick Woman Wow. It is rated R for violence and language throughout. Angel Has Fallen is scheduled to open on Friday, August 23rd. Visit fandango.com for times and locations in Berkshire County. There are many other arts and entertainment events happening around Berkshire County that I could not get to. If you would like any more information about events happening in the county, you can visit the website http://justtheberkshires.com, for everything Berkshire County related. That ends Weary Entertainment News for BNN. If you enjoyed this program, catch MCLA's Beacon Web News in the fall for more entertainment in North Adams and surrounding areas. In addition, you can listen to My New Weary Entertainment News radio show every Monday from 8 to 10 on MCLA's radio station, WJJW 91.1 FM in the fall. Back over to you, Julia.
On August 24th, come check out a mid-century architectural tour at the Foley. From 1 to 2 p.m., explore the Foley's playful organic design, original furniture, and artwork purchased by the Bluedell family. For members, this event is free, and for non-members, tickets are $10. For more information, visit destinationwilliamstown.org/event. The annual Fresh Grass Music Festival will be coming to Mass MoCA on September 20th through the 22nd. The event will feature 29 musical performances. Early 3-day adult tickets are available for $120, with student tickets priced at $99. This is a family-friendly music festival. Children under 6 have free admission with an adult, and tickets for those aged 7 to 16 years are $46. For more information, visit freshgrass.com. Fall classes start for MCLA students on September 4th, and on September 12th from 12 to 4 p.m., there will be an ice cream social for students. The ice cream social is a great way for incoming freshmen to sign up for clubs, extracurricular activities, and to meet other students. And with the new school year comes many changes at the MCLA campus. And this campus has undergone several renovations that I got a chance to get a sneak peek at.
As students begin to arrive back on campus, they may notice that MCLA has undergone a few new changes.
The first is the renovation of the Centennial Room, which is, the dining commons that we have on campus. And the second one is just behind that as you move towards the townhouse area, which is where the old pool area was, that's being transformed into a state-of-the-art sports medicine facility. So it'll be, the fitness center will be located there, a larger fitness center, probably going to increase the size of the one that's currently on the second floor campus center, probably at least doubling it, maybe increasing it, threefold.
Vice President of Administration and Finance, Larry Behan, explains how the school was able to finance the projects.
This is, about between $6 and $7 million project. Call it $6.5 million project, all in. So there's really, two major funding sources, and a third, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts has a little bit as well. Aramark, our food service vendor, was very generous in providing some funds, primarily for the renovation of the Centennial Dining Room. So they've contributed, say, maybe about a third, a little more than a third of the money. Another third has come from some borrowing that the college did with the Mass State College Building Authority. They're the authority that owns the dormitories and residence halls on campus. They also provide the availability to borrow money at favorable rates for student life projects.
And when it comes to student input?
So the cafeteria, the design of that was really input from, I know there's a group, my colleague, Vice President Holbrook, I know there's a student group that's involved working with Aramark on sort of food service issues. So they were certainly involved in providing input as to what they would like to see in a redesigned food service area. Also, Aramark has their own architectural firm that they use to design, some of redesign and refresh some of the spaces in which they provide services. So I think it was Beacon Architecture also had a role in designing the concept.
And when students return,
the Centennial Room will be a new look and feel, and one of the things I think that's going to be exciting is that people will notice, obviously, that it's refreshed and there's a different layout, but there's new tile floors, there's new lighting treatments, and also there's going to be seamless access. Once the fitness center part of the project is done, there'll be direct access from the marketplace all the way into where the fitness center, the athletic suite office is. So. Very exciting, I think, to be able to make projects that are going to benefit the students directly, I think, these improvements. So we're happy about it. Yeah.
For Berkshire News Now, Julia Texera.
People's department store in downtown North Adams is going to be converted into a Gordman's. Both People's and Gordman's are a part of the Stage community of stores. Stage is reportedly repositioning Gordman's to compete with stores like TJ Maxx or Burlington Coat Factory. The current people employees will be offered jobs at Gorman's. The Gorman's will be expected to open in early 2020. The city hosted its 23rd annual downtown celebration, and I had the chance to celebrate with its residents.
On August 14th, North Adams celebrated at the 23rd annual downtown celebration. The event, which has become a staple for the city, features performances, food, and activities for all residents.
I grew up here. This is part of North Adams. It's just so important because it brings people out of their homes to be together. So often we just think our home is our whole world, but come down to Main Street, come to downtown, and it's just a wonderful place to see everyone.
So I've been a big fan of Downtown Celebration for years. Facebook tends to be the way that I hear about most of these things, but also just the city. Susie Hellman City Hall is always a good source for that info.
And participation isn't just limited to only North Adams residents.
We actually did this last year, and we've always known about it, but we didn't know that outside the town groups could do it, and we did it last year, and we were successful with it, and this year we're doing it again, and we're going to continue to do it, so it's a great time.
And the best part about Downtown Celebration?
Oh, seeing people I haven't seen in 10 years, it's just been beautiful, and of everything else, I miss the people in the community, so it's been beautiful just to see them all.
I think it's hugely important. Yeah, it just brings the people together, and it's just really great. You get to see a lot of old friends and meet some new ones.
We meet a lot of people. We see thousands of people during this event. The kids have a good time. They run the booth for us, and it's just a fun time getting to know a lot of people.
When you look at all of the people that it brings out people from every corner of the city. And that, to me, is one of the most exciting things about any of our downtown events. But since Downtown Celebration has such a spirit around it of kind of it's for everyone in any kind of way, that's, for me, is the key piece to this whole thing, get everyone out.
And it brings out a lot of people, not just in North Adams, from Adams, Williamstown, Vermont, surrounding communities. There's a lot of people here. It supports a lot of the businesses.
And for Berkshire News Now, I'm Julia Texera.
Come to the Clark on August 24th at 2 p.m. for a special lecture titled The Trouble with WinRAR, presented by Deputy Director for Research, Interpretation, and Education at the Barnes Foundation, Martha Lucy. This is in conjunction with the special exhibit, Renoir, the Body, the Senses. On Saturday, August 24th at 8 p.m., Grammy-nominated group Chawa will be performing at Mass Mocha. The group radiates the fiery energy of the best features of Big Easy street culture. Tickets are $20 for students and $30 for the day of. For more information, visit massmocha.org. In Adams, Chick's Bar and Grill has new ownership. The tavern has been open since the 1930s under the name Chick's Cafe. The new owners, Trent and Tammy Schaefer and Mitchell Despain, have already begun to work on the inside of the building and are looking to request an alcohol transfer license before the planned September reopening of the restaurant. Last week, the town of Adams had its select board meeting, and BNN's May Craig gives us the scoop on what's to come for the town of Adams.
In Adams, the town's Board of Selectmen instituted an approval of two joint job descriptions. The first for a full-time animal control officer and parking attendant position, and the second for part-time custodian and transfer station attendant position. A majority of selectmen argued that these two positions should be combined. They felt that no single job posting requires full-time or part-time pay. Selectman Joseph Novak felt that a part-time custodian would be overwhelmed with the transfer station attendant responsibilities. The board also commissioned facility use requests for the Bart Charter School to attain access to the Memorial Gymnasium in Russell Field. Novak contends that the school should get its own facilities. The board approved all the requests with the exception of Valley Street Field. There is concern that this could interfere with prior scheduled events. The Adams Suffrage Celebration Committee announced weekly meetings and preparations for celebrations to come in 2020. $300,000 has been raised for an upcoming parade. The parade is to celebrate the centennial of the 19th Amendment that coincides with Anthony's 200th birthday. For Berkshire News Now, I'm May Craig.
come celebrate a new school year at the Clarksburg Elementary Back to School Bash with Case Creamery on August 27th from 6 to 7 p.m. with music, face painting, and ice cream from Case Creamery. Classrooms will also be open for families to tour. In an effort to advocate for safety gun reforms, Pittsfield Mayor Linda Tyre and North Adams Mayor Tom Bernard have signed on to Mayors Against Illegal Guns Coalition. The coalition has about 1,000 current and former mayors. This comes in the wake of the El Paso, Texas, and Dayton, Ohio shootings that occurred earlier this month. And MCLA Athletics is back. On Friday, August 30th at 6 p.m., come to Shoecraft Field as the MCLA women's soccer team faces Nichols College. The men will face Coast Guard on September 6th at 4 p.m. in their home opener. Finally, in the Amsler Campus Center gym, come see the women's volleyball team as they take on Mount Holyoke in their home opener. For all things MCLA athletics, visit athletics.mcla.edu. On September 14th, the Carpe Diem and Music Festival is coming to Adams. Head to the Adams Agricultural Ground Site from 1 to 8 p.m. for a full day of music, food, and other activities. The festival will feature performances from Hill Haunts, Forever Autumn, and Forks of Buffalo. For more information, visit www.greylockglass.com/event. In North Adams, the city plans to make several improvements to Ashland Street. The project will rejuvenate the section from Davenport Street to Summer Street. This comes after a downtown initiative grant from Mass Development in fiscal 2015 of about $15,000 was used for a visionary study of the entire street. Speaking of improvements, in the past year, the Wigwam Western Summit has seen a revitalization under its new ownership, and I was able to view the change.
The Wigwam Western Summit has a long-standing history in the Berkshires that dates back to the early 1900s.
The Wigwam Western Summit was founded in 1913 by 4 women. It was extraordinary because at the time it was really difficult for women to be in business. But these 4, the Mansfield sisters, they actually bought it with the aim of developing it into a destination in the Berkshires. And they dedicated about 30 to 40 years of their lives in building this destination, and it was quite the place to be.
And over the last year, the Wigwam Western Summit has seen a revitalization under the new ownership of Leah King and her partner, Wayne.
My story is tied to the Wigwam story, and I would say my story is a love story. Many people, when they think of love story, they think of young, beautiful, couple, Romeo and Juliet. Basically, my partner, Wayne, the Wigwam is Wayne's dream. Wayne was born and raised in North Adams. He loved the Wigwam ever since he had his driver's license, and he saw the Wigwam when he was a teenager. He's loved it for more than 40 years. He saw the decline of the Wigwam as he grew up. He loved the Wigwam. I fell in love with Wayne. So when A is greater than B, B is greater than C, A is greater than C. So I love the Wigwam, and now I'm dedicating my life, and the 2 of us are building the Wigwam dream.
And even though the Wigwam has undergone many modern structural changes, it still shares many small sentiments of the store's lasting history.
This was a guest book that was used by the Mansfield sisters, and we have the entire guest book. We laminated just the last page, and as you can see, this guest book was dated August 14, 1946, and it's the guests who stayed in the cabins.
The Wigwam is not only just a place where people can shop, eat, and sleep, but it's also a place for musicians.
At the Wigwam Musician Center, the Musician's Corner, which is in the most beautiful corner in the world. It's like an amazing stage. We profile underrepresented bands and also musicians. They come and play on weekend nights, and they delight the locals and travelers, and they come, the program is called Sunset Serenade. They will come and play anywhere between 7 and 9 p.m. When we have advance notice, we put out an Eventbrite and people come to listen to them. The acoustics in the store is wonderful, and we've had more than 20 bands who play here already, and the result is absolutely stunning. Some of the nights we have the most amazing sunset as their backdrop, and I make a commitment to videotape them. Sometimes I put them on Facebook Live. It's almost like we have the nature's best recording studio right here in the Musician's Corner.
And as for Leah's favorite part about owning the Wigwam,
I think I've traveled all over the world, being an executive from Cisco Systems and AT&T. I've lived in India, I lived in China. I was really tired of traveling. Here, basically, we open our doors and lots of interesting people come into our store and they come into our lives. The store occupies a very unique position on the Mohawk Trail. The Mohawk Trail, as you know, is the scenic byway. There are two ways of getting to North Adams. One is through Turnpike, and the other one is through one of the most scenic, one of the most beautiful drives in America. The Wigwam building is the first commercial building anybody will see when they enter North Adams.
and for Berkshire News Now, Julia Teixeira.
The search to find a new superintendent for the Cheshire Adams School District is finally over. After weeks of interviews, the Cheshire Adams Regional School Committee has chosen Erin Dean as the new superintendent. This comes after the committee held its final interviews with Erin Dean and Beth Choquette. The school committee will be scheduling a meeting with Dean in the coming weeks to negotiate a future contract. And speaking of candidates, in the North Adams mayoral race, Rachel Branch will be challenging incumbent Tom Bernard, and she is here in the studio with us today. And I'm here now with mayoral candidate Rachel Branch. Rachel, thank you for joining me today.
I'm honored to be here, and thank you for inviting me.
Well, you ran for mayor in the 2017 election. What made you decide to run again for office this time around?
Well, once again, I think it's very important for hopefully to empower other women to run for office. I do not think it's healthy for any candidate to run unopposed, and I have things to say and to speak up that I care about.
Your opponent for this race is incumbent Tom Bernard, and you actually ran against him in the last election as well. What is different about running against Bernard this time around?
Well, the last time around there were 4 men and me, and that was interesting. We ran a very respectful, I did ask each candidate that I hoped it would be a dignified and respectful campaign, which it was. So again, it was a lot of the same reasons, probably a few more, about empowering women and hopefully breaking patriarchal systems and women that support it. And of course, my campaigns are always about what are you doing for a child today. Everything that I'm doing and have done in my life, I think, will affect, hopefully, is about the children that follow and the grandchildren. And I think it's really important to have candidates speak up about background and things that are going on that affect the lives of our children, the schools, education, and to be able to use the background that I've had over the years.
And talking a little bit about certain changes that do need to be made, both the fire department and police department are in need of funding in terms of updating the buildings. And so if elected, how would you go about providing funding to both of those departments?
I think you have to explore every resource you possibly can. One of the things that I have heard from other people is perhaps the use of the Armory, the North Adams Armory. You have to start solving that problem. It just can't keep going on. It's a problem that has been kicked down the road, and it has to be addressed. And the accent, it's one of the accents that absolutely has to go forward.
And continuing on with talking about infrastructure, there has been some talks about improving water chutes. If elected, what is your plan to combat this growing problem?
Did you say improving?
Yes, improving the water chutes.
The water chute. I'm sorry. You're talking about the water chute. There again, I would have to see all the studies and all the plans, and that is something else that has to be addressed. You cannot let infrastructure go for years and years and years, and then the money that is required to repair it, it is very hard to get. But you have to start at square one and find the resources, even if it starts a little bit at a time.
And talking a little bit more about the city, Mass MoCA and the city of North Adams have had a deep partnership since the museum's opening in 1999. What is your vision, and where would you like to see the partnership moving forward?
Well, one of the concerns I have is about watching what I believe is the gentrification in North Adams, and I think there has to be an integration of community members and longtime members and members of our aging population, which I call our seasoned citizens. They have to be taken into account, and that is very important for this city because there are quite a lot of changes going on. And there are younger people coming in, and you have small businesses that need to be supported. But this has to be a community effort, along with MCLA.
I was actually just about to ask you about MCLA, seeing as that is also one of the biggest institutions here. How do you see that relationship moving forward as well?
I feel some of the same feelings that I have about Mass MoCA apply to MCLA. I actually went to Mark Hopkins when it was the training school for North Adams State Teachers College, and I think every program there and the students there need to be more involved, and I think as mayor of North Adams, it would be very important to reach out and make those one-on-one and group conversations and access to the students and administration and staff at MCLA.
Now we're going to switch gears. Seeing as City Council has also there's been a lot of talks with City Council as well. City Council will be seeing a big change as current councilors Eric Buddington, Rebecca Cohen, and Josh Moran are declining to run again. With these changes on the horizon for the city, do you think that these changes could impact your chances of being elected?
I actually don't look at it that way. I look at representative government needing people who will step forward and serve. And I do not believe in career politicians. And I'm happy to see new members standing up and running for office. So I think that's a healthy happening, and I welcome it. And I have found throughout my life the ability to work with any number of people in various situations, and so I welcome that.
And the last question, and this is still talking a little bit about City Council. In April, the council voted to allow the execute for a purchase and sale in regards to the Mohawk Theater. If elected, what is your vision for the theater?
Oh, it would be lovely to see that theater open, and I know a lot of money has been spent over the years, and there has to be some way to make that a viable institution. That is part of the historical heart of North Adams. And again, once again, I spent many, many Saturdays in North Adams going to that theater. But I'm very concerned about the loss of the historical buildings, and which also impact your historical knowledge about the city, and that is most important. This is an international history that we carry in North Adams.
Well, thank you, Rachel Branch, for agreeing to meet with us today, and good luck in November.
Thank you very much for inviting me to join you.
On a sweltering Saturday evening, Eagle Street was the battleground for Jack's hot dog eating contest. The competition was close as popular YouTuber LA Beast faced off against Kevin Lascarbo, Evan Garzina, and City Council President Keith Bona. In the end, even though LA Beast ate the most hot dogs at 26, he was ultimately disqualified for not holding down his hot dogs. Keith Bona ended up winning by eating 20 hot dogs. And that's it for this week. Thank you all for watching Berkshire News Now this summer. And to keep up with more news happening around the Berkshires, make sure to watch Beacon Web News coming in September.